This is a Sports Catastrophe production. Hey there, Heather, ho there, Chef Cutter Diamond. Welcome to the Sports Catastrophe on this day. And on this day, November the 24th, 2002, the Montreal Alouettes won this Grey Cup. Finally doing what they wanted to do. And winning the Grey Cup after so many years of failure in Montreal. They finally did it. They were the Grey Cup champs. And with Don Matthews, the head coach of the Alouettes, doing it, this was his 5th Grey Cup title as a head coach, tying him with Lou Heyman, Frank Clare, and Hugh Campbell for the all-time record. Edmonton had natural grass, but it was turned into artificial turf by 2010. The Grey Cup was on turf every year until 2016 at BMO Field in Toronto when it was on grass. So anyway, the Alouettes, this was the first time since that famous Ice Bowl in 1977 that they were the Grey Cup champions of Canada. Anyway, Edmonton and Montreal both had home field advantage in the playoffs. Well, Edmonton hosted the Western Final against the Blue Bombers, which they won 33-30. And then the Alouettes beat the Argos on home turf at Stade Olympique 35-18. So that meant Alouettes Eskimos. Now, the Alouettes did beat the Eskimos for their last Grey Cup in 1977. And then Edmonton went on that 5 straight year dynasty. Later on. But the fact of the matter was that Montreal had problems. By 1982, they were desperate and they were rebranded as the Montreal Concords. And then by 1987, just days before the season started, they folded inexplicably, leaving the CFL with 8 teams and a lot of work to do. Anyway, the Owls were no longer there, and Montreal didn't have CFL football for 9 years. It took the Cleveland Browns moving to Baltimore to become the Ravens and fans wanting the NFL instead of the CFL to have Montreal back in the CFL. Well, also the fact that CFL hated their U.S. experiment and decided to kill it off. Fortunately, though, Montreal was able to buy the Baltimore Stallions, and all their team came to Montreal. So Tracy Hammond, Mike Pringle, among others, were in Montreal as players and as the Alouettes. They went back to the Alouette name with the bird, and in '96 they started a run of making the Eastern Finals but not getting to the Grey Cup. In 2000, they finally got to the Grey Cup for the first time since reactivation, but lost to the BC Lions on a failed 2-point convert. Montreal hosted the Grey Cup in 2001, but the Alouettes weren't in it. Then comes 2002, and the Alouettes needed to do something fresh. So anyway, the Alouettes would face Edmonton in this situation. Edmonton and Montreal had met in 11 Grey Cup matches anyhow. So anyway, in the second quarter, Anthony Cafillo found Pat Woodcock for a small game, but Woodcock would outrun the defenders and go 99 yards. That was the pass and run play that scored Montreal's big touchdown. They get 8-0 Montreal. The record actually held till 2017 when Ricky Ray had a 100-yard pass and play. And then, of course, Terry Baker kicked a field goal to make it 11-0 Montreal. So Montreal was looking good, up 11-0 at the half. Shania Twain was the halftime show. So that worked out quite well. Edmonton came roaring back as Ricky Ray, the future Toronto star quarterback, well, ironically, had that 100-yard play, came in and threw a touchdown pass to Troy Walters to make it 11-7. And then John Fleming kicked a field goal to make it 11-10. So Montreal still was in the lead. Fourth quarter, early on, the Alouettes struck as Cavillo threw a big pass to Jermaine Copeland for a touchdown. Montreal was up 18-10. However, late in the game, the Eskimos got a touchdown to Ed Hervey with 19 seconds left in regulation. They needed the 2 points to tie the game, but unfortunately, the pass for Terry Fawn was broken up by Tim Strickland, and Montreal felt relieved. They got ruined on a 2-point convert in 2000 late, and they destroyed a 2-point convert in 2002. Edmonton decided to onside kick. Unfortunately, Jermaine Copeland got the ball and ran past the defenders. He was allowed to advance the ball, and he did. And that was a touchdown. Montreal won the game 25-16. Cavillo, even though he was 11 for 31 passing, was still the MVP because of his 260 yards and 2 touchdowns. And I think they couldn't find a more suitable guy. Edmonton was upset with themselves, as they lost the Grey Cup on home turf, becoming the first team since the '83 Lions to do so. Edmonton had a lot to be proud of and all that, but the Alouettes finally got their Grey Cup, and despite everything, over 250,000 fans came to see the Grey Cup in the parade from Montreal. So that shows you civic duty to do with the city of Montreal, and I don't care what you say, that was that, and it worked. Anyhow, I'm Jeff Diamond of Duke.